Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about what really, truly makes a business win in the long run. A lot of people think that to win, you just have to work harder, spend more, or just plain run faster than everybody else. But what if I told you the real secret isn't about the speed of the race at all? What if it's about building something that makes the race completely irrelevant? Think about it for a second. Have you ever had that feeling where you're just grinding, pushing for every tiny improvement? You're working so hard, only to look up and realize you're in the exact same spot compared to your competition. You're sprinting your heart out, but so is everyone else. Nobody's actually gaining any ground. It's totally exhausting. And guess what? It's a classic trap in business strategy. Okay, so to really get this, we have to talk about a famous metaphor. This quote is from Through the Looking Glass. The Red Queen tells Alice that in her world, you have to run as fast as you can just to stay put. And that, right there, perfectly sums up the nightmares so many companies find themselves in. It's a phenomenon that actually has a name. So that crazy, pointless race? It's called the Red Queen effect. It's like the hamster wheel of business. You're putting in all this effort, all this activity, but it's not creating any real lasting advantage. So let's break down what this actually looks like for a company. Really, what's at the heart of the Red Queen effect is imitation. It's what happens when everyone in an industry just starts copying each other. One company drops its price, so poof, everybody else does too. Another one adds some cool new feature, and bam, within a few months, it's totally standard. Everybody's running faster, sure, but nobody's position changes. And the result? You get this brutal, low-profit world where you're just fighting to survive, not to win. And what's wild is how often you see these red flags. How many times have you heard a leader say, our strategy is to be number one? That's not a strategy. That's a hope. A real strategy tells you how you're going to win. Same thing with benchmarking, where you're just obsessed with being a tiny bit better than your rival at the exact same game. That is a first-class ticket right onto the Red Queen's treadmill. It's a recipe for becoming identical, not for becoming unique. And let me tell you, the stakes here are massive. If you don't define and face your real competitive challenge, it can be fatal. Blockbuster didn't just need to run its stores better. It needed to deal with the fact that Netflix was delivering movies in a totally new way. BlackBerry didn't just need a slightly better keyboard. It had to face the iPhone, a completely new idea of what a phone could be. They were busy trying to win their old race while the finish line had been moved to a different stadium entirely. Okay, so if running faster on the same old track is a losing game, then what does actually winning look like? Well, it's about getting off that treadmill entirely. It's about finding a fundamentally different and better position. And that position is what we call competitive advantage. It's really helpful to think of competition on a spectrum like this. See, most companies caught in that Red Queen race are stuck right in the middle, at parity. They're all just doing okay, same as everyone else. The goal of strategy is to move up to advantage, where you're actually creating more value than your rivals. But the real prize, the holy grail of strategy, is sustainable advantage. That's when you can outperform everyone else for a long, long time, because what you do is just really hard to copy. So how do you get there? Through strategic positioning. This is all about making choices, and this is the important part, making trade-offs. Just look at Walmart and Nordstrom. They're both incredibly successful retailers, right? But they are not in a race against each other. Walmart chose a cost leadership strategy. To get those everyday low prices, they had to make a trade-off. Their stores are basic and they don't have a lot of service. Nordstrom did the exact opposite. They chose a differentiation strategy built on amazing customer service, which meant they had to accept the trade-off of higher prices. They are winning in completely different ways because they chose not to play the same game. And this brings us to the main idea today. Instead of running, you need to be building. You need to build a defensible position, a moat around your business that your competitors just can't cross. And lucky for us, there's a brilliant framework that works like an inspection checklist for your moat. It's called the VRIO framework. For any resource or capability your company has, you just have to ask these 4 simple questions. Is it valuable? Is it rare? Is it costly to imitate? And finally, are you organized to actually capture the value from it? See, it's not enough for something to be valuable and rare. That might give you a temporary leg up. To build a real sustainable moat, it has to be incredibly hard for others to copy, and you need all the right systems in place to actually profit from it. And believe me, that last letter, the O for organized, is so important. Just look at the story of Xerox PARC. These guys invented everything. The graphical user interface, the mouse, basically the modern PC.
Their resources were unbelievably valuable, incredibly rare, and at the time, impossible to imitate. But Xerox just wasn't organized to capture that value. They were a copier company through and through. Their whole structure was built for that. So what happened? Apple and Microsoft came along, saw the genius, and built entire empires on the ideas Xerox couldn't capitalize on.
So, if the key is making your advantage really costly to imitate, how in the world do you actually do that? This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of making your moat deep, wide, and basically impenetrable. These tools are called isolating mechanisms. Think of isolating mechanisms as the actual bricks and mortar you use to build your moat. They are the specific reasons why a competitor can't just waltz in and copy what you do. They're the barriers that keep you safe and sound, far away from the Red Queen's race. Let's look at a few really powerful ones.
First up is something called path dependence. The core idea here is simple. Some things just can't be bought or rushed. They have to be earned over time. Think about a company's reputation. Or, a perfect modern example, look at Tesla. GM has billions of dollars, but they can't just snap their fingers and acquire the decade-plus of data, learning, and experience that Tesla has in building EVs at scale. That history, that path, gives Tesla an edge that is super costly for anyone else to imitate.
Next, we've got causal ambiguity. This one's fun. It's basically when your competitors are looking at you and they honestly can't figure out exactly why you're so successful. It's your secret sauce. Apple is the classic example here. Is their success because of their brilliant supply chain, their iconic design philosophy, the seamless software integration, their marketing genius? The truth is, it's probably a complex mess of all of them working together. And because it's so ambiguous, it's nearly impossible for anyone to perfectly copy it.
And finally, there's social complexity. This is all about the advantages you get from your company's unique culture, the relationships, the trust, the way people work together. Southwest Airlines is famous for how quickly they can turn a plane around at the gate. Now, that's not just a process on a checklist, it's the result of a one-of-a-kind culture where pilots, flight attendants, and ground crews are empowered and all work together like a well-oiled machine. You just can't copy-paste a culture like that. It's socially complex, and that makes it an amazing defense.
So as we wrap this up, this is the big question that strategy forces every single one of us to ask. Is all your effort, all your energy, going into just running faster on the same treadmill as everyone else? Or are you deliberately, thoughtfully building a unique position, a strong moat, protected by things that are genuinely hard to copy? Because in the end, real, lasting success doesn't come from winning the race. It comes from building a fortress so strong you don't even have to race at all.